Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Is everybody enjoying their breakfast? We got a packed morning, and I know you're here, and I know everybody's in a rush. First of all, I want to thank you for coming. For those of you who are in Gloucester, thank you. For those of you who are visiting, thank you for coming up this morning. We're happy to have you. I'm Sal DiStefano. I'm Director of Economic Development for the City of Gloucester. I'm here with Jill Cahill, who's Community Development Director, and she's been helping out and getting things ready. But both of us welcome you on behalf of the Mayor and Secretary Arena. We're happy to launch this initiative, this new initiative. And today, basically, the event is packed with some honorees that we're going to be mentioning today and awarding. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about a new initiative that the mayor is launching as well. And finally, we have some providers here that can talk about incentives, like incentives for hiring veterans and also other resources for your businesses to grow. This is the first event of its kind, and we're covering it on social media, and we're covering it all over through our Cape Ann TV 1623 studios. So the goal here today is to honor, also to educate, and have all you folks spread the word. So without further ado, I want to introduce our mayor, Mayor Safatia Romeo Taken.
Well, I guess that covers everything I'm supposed to say, so you know what? No, first of all, thank you, everyone, for coming. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here today. I have a special place in my heart for veterans. Mr. Linquater, Michael Linquater, ever since I was a little girl, told us stories. And until you can't see it on a cell phone, you really couldn't see it in back then encyclopedias, history books, or anything else, is when you sat down with your seniors and actually saw the expressions on their faces and felt what they felt. Mr. Linquater, good morning, was amazing, and it was an eye-opener for a lot of us young people growing up around Mr. Linquater and the rest of the veterans. As a city council, it was my honor to say that the city of Gloucester is going to hire veterans first preference, fire, police, and a lot of DPW is actually doing really well. I'm just so glad that I work with a wonderful veterans director. Adam Kukru has done more with veterans than I've seen. You see, I've worked in healthcare for 20 years, and it's kind of difficult when you see your veterans don't get the services that they're supposed to be getting. So I started a program with the state, and I'm a SHINE counselor, certified health insurance needs for, it used to be elders, now it's for everyone with Medicare, is to make sure that, you know, the Chapter 115 doesn't go to waste, that they get and everything. So I says, why not double dip? Why not make sure that our veterans, some of them can actually go on Medicaid? Some of them can actually get different assistance, but no one was there. And so I started this program, and I actually still volunteer on Fridays. I mean, what mayor does that? But I do, because I believe in my veterans and my seniors. I love to death. On Fridays, City Hall closes at 12:30. Double shot espresso. I need it. I run down to the senior center. Adam sends his veterans, especially new ones. Please go to the SHINE counselor at the senior center, and we figure out what's the best. We've saved veterans their money on 115 instead of spending on co-pays for your medications, because sometimes the medications through the veteran services are not covered, or you just started and you don't have that in place yet. Your doctor co-pays and everything else, or why pay the Medicare premiums when we can help you other ways so they can actually use their money. That's one thing he does, but not only he himself as a veteran Purple Heart, he started networking. And on Fridays, it started like maybe 4 people to, it's like not enough room. I'm going to have to build don't say that out loud. Someone's going to kill me. Jimmy Destino will say, what are you doing? But the fact is that they need services. And I'm so proud of Gloucester that we're doing it. And all of you in this room have given and have supported and have challenged your companies, or you are your companies, to do the right thing. So with this kickoff here that we're going to be doing, they'll talk a little bit more and explain to you, besides the Gloucester Fresh in Gloucester, this is the most exciting thing that's happening. Because you know what? We have the fisherman's statue, we have tourism, we have everything else. But to have this in one of our businesses and have the chamber here is amazing, because this is what we really mean. This is so important. And I love, and he'll explain this to you in a bit. And I think that's great. I can't wait to go put dog tags on people. So I think that's enough for what I'm going to say, because everyone's going to fill you in, and I know you have a busy day. And for those who are going to get recognized today, thank you from the bottom of my heart. There is no words for the companies you have, for the people that you are, to express myself on what you've done for the city of Gloucester. And not just because you have to understand now, we're Cape Ann veterans. We took over Rockport and we took over Manchester because we believe that all veterans should have a voice, and through Adam, they do. If I could give a big round of applause for Adam, I would. So thank you. I don't have a dog tag. I'm not giving you a raise. I'm not expanding anything else. I'm just going to say thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor.
I have to give him a hug because he deserves it. All right.
Adam, why don't you come up? So, as the mayor said, a new initiative will be launched today. Adam, if you could talk about that, and if you could then introduce the secretary.
Sure. So, good morning, everyone. Briefly go over who we are. So, we are Cape Ann Veteran Services. A lot of people get us confused. We're not the VA. We're the hub to the many resources that are available on the federal, state, municipal, and community level, but we're not the VA. We work under the guidance of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 115. The state has recognized that there are an abundance of resources for veterans. They're not always the easiest to navigate. That's where we come into play. We're the community's outreach specialists. We're the hub to those various spokes that are out there to help our veterans. Our Cape Ann community has about double the national average of veterans. And when you think about that, you know, you really think of why that is. And for those that are from this area, from our Cape Ann communities, know exactly what this is. It's service, it's volunteering. And that's really where the dynamic comes from on why our Cape Ann community has such a high population of veterans, but also a high population of people that are willing to give back to the community. Like the mayor said, probably the only mayor that donates her time on Fridays to continue to help people after everyone's gone home on Fridays. That's the kind of community we live in. That's the kind of veterans we have. It's about volunteering. That's who we are here on Cape Ann. There's not a lot of information on veteran-owned businesses or businesses that are hiring veterans. And that's kind of a shame. Shame on us for not doing this earlier. You know, when we come home, there's a lot of struggles on what direction we're going to go in. Veterans come home, they've served, they have their educational benefits, they want to get back in the workforce. A lot of them go the fire and police directions. That's continued service to our country and to our communities. But for a lot of us, we're looking for a new avenue. Where do we start? And there's great organizations out there like Applied Materials, like Abiomed, that are bringing in veterans and showing them other paths other than police and fire that veterans are excelling in, and where they're being extremely productive and bringing those life experiences back into the workforce. So, as the mayor said, working with our economic department, Sal and Maria DeStefano from the States Department, we're going to launch an initiative to create a dog tag-like symbol for veteran-owned businesses and businesses that support veterans, to let the communities know and to let our veterans know the support that's out there for them. This is our duty now, is to continue to not only serve our veterans, but to serve our community. The mayor thanked me for what I do. It's not me, it's community. It's people like Steve Canning, who donates his time at the office all the time. It's the different businesses that support our initiatives to welcome home every veteran. It's all the support that we continue to get from our community to do this. This is a community effort. It's not one person. It's all of us or none of us. Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to introduce a good friend, fellow Marine, Secretary of Veteran Services, Francisco Urena.
Wow. Good morning, everybody. What a true privilege it is to be in Gloucester each and every time I come. Mayor, I almost parked in the 10-hour parking spot because I want to spend that much time here in Gloucester this time around, but sadly my schedule doesn't allow. I didn't want to take up somebody else's 10 hours parking spot, to be the truth. But what a privilege it is that we're here celebrating veterans once again. I mean, if you put a word map around social media and you type the word Gloucester and you type veterans, you probably get more hits than any other community around the Commonwealth. And that's something to celebrate because it's an active going out of your way to recognize veterans, not only on Veterans Day or Memorial Day, which clearly none of those 2 days is today, but it's an opportunity to, because these are your veterans, these are your veterans, your neighbors, your friends, your public servants, folks in private sector and business. And it's an opportunity to celebrate them. And it's an opportunity also to be a beacon of hope, just as a lighthouse that so many sailors use to navigate. That's what Gloucester is becoming for veterans, an opportunity to bring them into our community that's going to provide them a sense of opportunity. And what better example? I can't think of nothing else. Because after somebody serves our country or continues to serve while in the National Guard or the Reserves, what better place for them to know that they have that sense of opportunity and security and teamwork approach and collective aspect of folks looking out for them and for their families. And when we talk about hiring veterans, it's also important to put a focus on veteran families. Because sometimes, for many of our service members, the security and safety of their families, having good employment while they're still active, while they are deploying, is something that's very important to them, so that their mission could be that much easier. And I think that's what we celebrate here today, that opportunity of business owners that want to step up, that want to say, hey, we're here, we're the beacon, take a look at what's happening. And I think it's an example that needs to be emulated, that we'll take and we'll kind of walk around this rest of the Commonwealth. This summer, I'm so pleased and honored. I'm going to be hosting all of my peers from across all 50 states, 4 territories, District of Columbia, for our Best Practices Summit. These are some of the topping points that we're going to be sharing, some of the things that we see here locally in Gloucester. It's a 4-day summit, is an event, and it's the first time in 50 years that all my peers have come to Massachusetts. And so it's something exciting. Our focus is mental health, substance abuse, and suicide prevention, but not just those 3 topics, because good employment is also a focus on aiding to ensure that those other ailments are not masterized and get to where they are. But once again, to the recipients here today, thank you for continuing to set those great examples, to be, I think, and it's an aspect of, and I've spoken to many business folks, Sal, and I know you know this, veterans bring so much to the table. The leadership traits, mission accomplishment, the aspect of just being good team leaders, being good team followers, being just part of what is the bottom line, tell me, and this is what we'll deliver. And that's what these businesses, I'm sure you know, this is what you get out of veterans, and the aspect of, at the end of the day, it's good for our country. Well, listen, thank you so very much. On behalf of Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Polito, and our 365,000 veterans, I thank you all. We have one-stop career centers. I see my friend Al Yee, I see Chris, and many others that are in the room. One-stop career centers are locations around the Commonwealth where veterans could receive that coaching and mentorship and the aspect of resume building, career building. Some training monies are also available there to not just training, but training with an end goal of a job at the end of the line. So those things are also important, and I want to make sure we continue to celebrate. But the aspect, after this breakfast, ensure that there's some good networking that goes on, because the continued conversations of what's going to happen from this summit, this gathering here today, is what's going to continue to share, and Gloucester is going to shine. Thank you so very much. God bless you all.
Thank you, Secretary. Honored to have you here today. Thank you so much. So right now, what I would like to do is call Adam up for the awards portion of it. If you would like to start with Mr. Linquata.
Sure. Joy, you going to read these ones? You're going to read those ones. The secretary's going to read these ones here.
Mayor.
And then the mayor has hers.
Yeah.
All right. So today we're here to honor veteran-owned businesses and businesses that are currently CEO'd by veterans or have hired veterans. It's only fitting that we start with the owner of the Gloucester House, Michael Linquata, who is a World War II veteran. Mike has a incredible legacy as a veteran, and that's not why we're here. We're here about what he did afterwards and what he continues to do. Michael has been an asset to our community, as the mayor's noted. He served as a mentor to a lot of us in sharing his stories and his wisdom. Some of the stories he shared with me have really kind of been at the heart of some of the decisions I make, and how I feel I want to grow as a person. Michael has continued to support various organizations within the community. He donates constantly to Meals on Wheels, donates annually. It's roughly around $10,000 a year, right, to Meals on Wheels fundraiser, the ROTC, and various other events. Even today, Mike continues to support his fellow veterans, supporting our office on Memorial Day, supporting the remembrance of our veterans in the community. And he also continues to take veterans out on whale watches and continues to build that social aspect that we so long for as veterans. Mike, I'm going to hand it off to the mayor, who will read your citations. If you want to come up after all three read, or you can come up now if you'd like me to grab your cane. Yeah.
Hi, Mike. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. Office of the Mayor, special citation to Michael Linquata. As Mayor of the City of Gloucester, one of the pleasures of this office is the opportunity to recognize in an official way special happening in the lives of extraordinary people. Thus, I'm delighted to take a moment to salute you, Michael Linquata, on your tireless efforts of supporting your fellow veterans. Your service as United States Army medic in World War II and being held as prisoner of war after surrendering a unit of injured soldiers to the German Army will not go unforgotten. After your courageous service, you continue to dedicate time supporting veterans by serving as the commander of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 1623 and chair of the World War II Memorial Committee. Today, Mr. Linquata hosts various events through his fellow veterans, as well as taking veterans on whale watchers and his continued dedication to the Gloucester Memorial Day ceremony. Mr. Linquata does not only serve a veterans community, but every Gloucester resident as the owner of the Gloucester House Restaurant, which is one of the most iconic veteran-owned businesses in Gloucester. On behalf of the residents and especially the veterans of the City of Gloucester, I would like to extend my warm and sincere gratitude for your service to the United States and the Gloucester community. Given under my signature and seal in the City of Gloucester this 13th day of June 2018, Safathia Romeo, taken Mayor.
Thank you, dear.
All right.
Mayor, we have the governor's citation right now.
Yep, and now
Okay.
from the governor of Massachusetts.
Governor of the Commonwealth, Charles Baker, on to the Michael Linquata. On behalf of the citizens of this Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am pleased to confirm this governor's citation in recognition of your dedicated service to veterans of Gloucester and across the Commonwealth. Signed this 13th day of June, Charles D. Baker, Karen E. Polito, Lieutenant Governor.
Good. Thank you very much.
Mr. Linquata, we have one more. We have one more citation from our state senate. If I'll read it real quickly. Official citation, be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Michael Linquata in recognition of your dedicated service to veterans on Gloucester and all of Cape Ann. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted to the Clerk of the Senate. Signed, Senator Bruce Tarr.
Thank you very much.
There we go.
I'll put this at the table, buddy.
All right, will you?
Yes, I will.
Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah. The problem is that once I get talking, sometimes I dominate the conversation. And I would just like to say, the bottom of my heart, and I really mean this, I believe firmly that we we are all one of God's creatures. And because we are, and the good book says we must take care of one another. And that's what we're supposed to do in this life of ours. And that's what I've been trying to do in my lifetime. And I won't say where I started, but I firmly believe that. And that's why we do what we do here at the Gloucester House. And that's why I did some of the things I did outside the Gloucester House, like the memorial. I spearheaded that, and we got it up, and we're about 99% finished with that. There's a little bit we got to do to it yet, but we're about 99% finished. And but we must take care of one another, and I firmly believe that, and we do that with the Meals on Wheels, and we've done that for maybe 40 or more years without any interruption. We've done it consistently, and no sabbaticals of any kind. And we firmly believe, because they do a wonderful job, and I guess everybody's familiar with the Meals on Wheels, and they provide one meal a day to the people that are shut-ins, elderly, or just can't get out. And that's I'm sure it's a big help to those individuals. And some people really need help, and that's what we're here for. Me, and all of us. We're here to help one another. Thank you.
We're going to do applied materials. Okay. Next, our next awardee is applied materials. I'm going to have Adam step up for a second, but they do so many things in the community. Not only one of our largest employers, but a great company. We just visited them for Manufacturers Month, right, Mayor? And toured. You got dressed up. And what was great when we toured the company is how many people the mayor knew personally. So they do hire locally. They do hire, how many veterans? 120? 120 veterans. I mean, that's incredible. That deserves a round of applause. And I'm going to invite Adam to call them up.
So just quickly on Applied Materials, why we nominated Applied. As Sal said, they're currently employing full-time 120 veterans. On the next level, Applied Materials has created a employment resource group, a Veterans Employment Resource Group, which is to bring together, not only for the social aspect, for the community aspect, those veterans that worked for Applied Materials. Each year we hold a event. It's called the Cape Ann Veterans Welcome Home Initiative. What it is it's our starting point to find those veterans that are new to our community or recently separated from the service and provide them with a kind of a welcome package to Cape Ann. This has general information on veterans benefits, community benefits, but also has a bunch of gift certificates, an overwhelming amount of gift certificates from local businesses. They're designed to let our veterans know that they're welcomed and that they are that our businesses are thankful for their service. Well, Applied Materials, the EGR group at Applied Materials took that task and ran with it. Their ERG group raised $1,300 for next year's Welcome Home Initiative. And that was matched by Applied Materials by another $1,300 for a grand total of $2,600 for our next year's Welcome Home Initiative. So, I mean, that's a feat in itself. It shows you the commitment by the company to hire veterans and the continued commitment by the veterans to continue to serve. They're currently right now working with us, getting ready for the Fish Box Derby. The United Veterans Council has taken over the Fish Box Derby to again promote veterans at the lower level, to teach and educate children on veterans. And Applied Materials in their Veterans ERG group is creating a fish box car, which will hopefully be run by one of the veterans' kids, I believe, by one of the veterans' children, and supporting our community. If anyone can tell you or attest to the success of hiring veterans, I'm sure it's Applied Materials. So at this time, I'd like to invite up Jim, Mike, and Mark Poland from Applied Materials. And is there anyone else here from Applied Materials? Or is it just, and
Aaron?
it's Kathy and
Aaron?
Steve Canning? Yeah. Steve, come on up. Steve.
Doesn't matter, you're a veteran.
So, Mayor, if you would like to read your citation.
Of course. You're so lucky Bruce isn't here. And Representative Ann Margaret Ferranti was called away, and Senator Tarr, so hopefully they're getting more money for Gloucester, so I didn't mind them not coming. Office of the Mayor, well, first of all, since he's not here, I'll get an extra minute of Bruce's time. Thank you all. I did tour the Applied Materials and found it amazing. I mean, I toured it before, but just now it's just amazing. I walked in and I swear, I thought I was on NASA, really, because of the whole get-up that you had to put up, and I was waiting to fly around. But to see the locals and to see the community people there and our veterans was just heartwarming, because the fact is, it's a full-time job. Benefits, full benefits. And so, you know, and I truly believe that when you have a depression and when you are thinking of suicide thoughts, and our veterans and the VA clinics are helping, but it's also sometimes when you talk to these soldiers and veterans, they say every day when you're either deployed or in the Army, you have something to do constantly every day. And when you come back, I know you guys welcome us and doing stuff, but when you don't have a job, or you just feel like you can't fit in because the job you had, they changed it, I don't know where to go, Mayor. I don't know what to do. I can volunteer, but I still don't feel my self-worth. Here I am, I can serve the country, and I can save your lives and make you free, but yet I don't have a place where I belong. It's very emotional. When they say that they got their jobs and said, I feel like a human being, and I feel that I belong to society again, and I feel self-worth, that's what I'm thanking you for. Money and everything else, whatever, but I'm thanking you for making someone feel that they belong in my community or anyone's community, but their self-worth, because that helps them continue every day, and to help their depression and to help whatever they have, to make it a little bit easier, because when you are depressed and you have no place to go and no one's there, things do happen. So on that behalf, oh, stop. Now I can smile. Smile. It's hard, I know, but I just wanted to let that know, because I really do appreciate it. Office of the Mayor, special citation for Applied Materials and Applied Materials Veterans Employment Resource Group. As the Mayor of the City of Gloucester, one of the pleasures of this office is the opportunity to recognize in an official way the ongoing efforts of extraordinary businesses like Applied Materials Veterans Employment Resource Group. Applied Materials has been a leader in Gloucester community for hiring and employing United States military veterans. Applied Materials currently employs 120 full-time veterans. I jump 120 times and I'm not happening. These 120 veterans created the Applied Materials Veterans Employment Resource Group to connect veterans to work together to continue service in the community. This group has supported the Gloucester Lodge of Elks 892 annual Cape Ann Veterans Welcome Home Initiative by fundraising $1,300 with a match by Applied Material Headquarters on behalf of the citizens of Gloucester, and on this person who loves her veterans, not just as mayor, but as a citizen of Gloucester. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude for all your efforts and supports of the Gloucester veterans community, given under my signature and seal of the City of Gloucester this 13th day, 2018, Safathi Romeo taken mayor, and I really do, going to give you all a hug whether you like it or not. I love you.
All right. And from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, on behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth, I am pleased to confirm to you this governor's citation recognition of your dedicated services to veterans of Gloucester and across the Commonwealth to Applied Materials, signed this 13th day of June, 2018, signed Charles D. Baker, Governor, Karen E. Polito, Lieutenant Governor. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
And from our state senate, State Senator Bruce Tarr and Ann Margaret, an official citation. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Applied Materials Incorporated in recognition of your dedicated service to the veterans of Gloucester and Cape Ann. Signed, Bruce Tarr, June 13th, 2018.
Thanks, Val.
Thank you. If you got, Mike, if you want to say a few words, or whomever,
Thanks, Val.
Sure.
on behalf of your team.
Yeah. I think it's Mike Day to talk up here. That's, if you don't have the Mike name, you can't come to the
Get on the
podium.
mic.
You can't come to the podium here. So first, I'd just like to thank Erin Hicks and Kathy Lowe. They're from our Human Resources Department. Really, Applied Materials, the company, the Employee Resource Group is part of the diversity inclusion group that Applied has, and they helped to set us up, and they're the ones that fund us, and they're the ones that help us with the match and things like that. Also, we've got Jim Mullen. He's our executive sponsor. And we got Mark Poulin, who's the vice president of the group. And we have two other folks that couldn't make it today, Sandra Key and Gary Lane. You may have seen them. They're a lot more active. Actually, I think Gary's going to be the cook on the July 29th. They're going to have they're going to take some folks on a Friday afternoon, I think. They do the bingo with the, so, yeah, so Gary will be the guy in the kitchen if you want to see him. So we're Applied Materials, but really, the final guy I want to thank is Steve Canning. And he goes by the name of Varian because Applied Materials took us over. So everyone may have known Varian because we've been in the community for a while. If you don't, you know, there's 3 windmills in this town. Well, there's only one that's not working. Well, that's Varian. So we got a bunch of engineers. Like the mayor was saying, we got a bunch of engineers, right? We do some semiconductor, some high-tech stuff. We got a bunch of engineers that every morning get out of their car. They walk.
Afraid of heights, though.
Yeah, they walk by that windmill, and they're dying. They're dying to get at it. But like I said, they're afraid of heights. So we formed the group. It's you don't have to be a veteran to be in the group. You don't have to be in the military to be in the group. You just have to have an interest in helping veterans or people in the military. Really, that's what it is. And Michael said it the right way, helping each other. We're focused on trying to help ourselves internally, right? Groups. We're trying to get some training set up, promotions, things like that. We're trying to set up a website to be a resource for people. And I say it not only for the folks that are in the company, because again, some of these guys, they're really well off, right? We don't really have some of these health issues, right? We've got benefits, what have you, but they may know somebody else. And if we have a website that has a link to something, they can do it. But we're also trying to get more involved in the community. And Adam has been really helping us with that, and Steve too. So we're trying to get more involved. So thank you. We appreciate this. It's a great honor. And we'll see you guys out there in the community a lot more.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Ed.
Sure. Our final awardee is a company called Abiomed. I think Mike Minogue could not be with us, but as we all know, to be successful, you need great in-laws. So they're here because they're the reason for his success. But Adam told me, well, this is not a company that's physically located in Gloucester. They do a lot for Gloucester. And I know the mayors always talk about regional economic development and regionalizing and working together is a key to success. So when we talked about doing this event, and he talked about Abiomed, I was like, absolutely, and the mayor was behind it 1,000%. So if I could call up Adam for our final awardee.
So our final awardee is Michael Minogue. Mike is the CEO of a company, Abiomed. It makes heart pumps. So again, service to people. It's saving lives. Mike's connection with Gloucester, a few years back, Mike came in, him and his wife, Michael and Renee Minogue Foundation, they donated $20,000 to the Cape Ann Office of Veteran Services. With that support, we were able to begin work on our veteran service building. Our veteran service building was deeply in need of repairs. So we were able to go in and start doing work in our building. Why this was important is because we know our community is very supportive of veterans. Our building did not say that. Our building said completely the opposite. And what we did is, through this support, we were able to go to the VA and go through the Veterans Construction Team. This is a team of veterans that are in some form of VA treatment, whether it be physical health, mental health, or substance abuse, that are getting their lives back on track. But they still need that. They're not ready to get fully back into the workforce yet. These are veterans learning the trade. So what they do is they can work on this project at the city level and still receive treatment when necessary at the VA. It's the first step into getting veterans that are in need of still that medical attention, first step into getting them back into the workforce. So because of Mr. and Mrs. Minogue's generous donation, we were able to help approximately about 30 veterans get back into this trade field, and they took real pride in helping our building. And if you ever get a chance to come down and look at it, you'd be amazed from the before and after. I was amazed from the before and after pictures, and our veterans are still amazed, and their families are amazed. Through that money, we were able to continue to do more outreach events to the community, host events like we are today, to promote veterans to our community and to thank veterans in their own form of luncheon or an event. Without Michael and Renee Minogue, we wouldn't have been able to, again, expand the way we have. Again, this is a community effort, and they have been two leaders to really set the example of community involvement. So Madonna and Steve, thank you so much. Please extend my gratitude. And their grandchildren are amazing too. Just a really great family all around. So if you would please come up.
Again, it's my pleasure because, as you heard Adam, helping these veterans to come into society so they can go to Applied Materials or go to a local business or open their own businesses is very important. Like I said, these all our veterans who says we just need that chance and we just need that sometimes something to do every day. Well, honestly, he's not wrong when he said that building was disgraceful. During the storms, it got hit, lost their little greenhouse, lost some other things, and it was just hard, and as you know, with budgets and stuff. And, you know, not everyone, unfortunately, feels the same way as we all do in this room. It's kind of hard because they say, well, you know, why don't you just combine services? Why don't you just put them in another building? Why don't you just do that? You can't. Because, you know, for a veteran who is suffering with some kind of illness, to walk into a door and ask for help is very difficult. Just to get that in there to say, like, are they going to judge me? Are they going to hold this against me? Are people going to know that I have this problem? I shouldn't have to go ask for help. I serve the country. So to give them their own place to call home, they go in and they chat with Sue and Steve, and they're welcomed by so many veterans and volunteers, and I love the veterans bring their wives, their grandkids, everything else. It's like a family, and we cleaned inside. I haven't got them shades. I'm one of those maids, you got to have everything right. So we got nice shades to make it feel like it's really nice, and the services. So when they go in that door, they see this beautiful building, and they don't feel like they're asking for anything. They feel like they're walking into a family room. And that's amazing. And then they have their network, and then there's a little kitchen. The services that come out of that little house on a little end street is the most amazing thing anyone can ask for. I'm so proud of the city. And like I said, it's people in the community like yourselves, because without all of you, we really can't do this. It's very difficult. Everyone wants, and as a mayor, I'm telling you, everyone wants little bits and pieces. We have so many things to repair. We have so many things. So when Michael Minogue approached me and says, I want to do something for my veterans. We knew each other from before, and he says, I'm a veteran of this, but I want to do something. I want to be just for veterans. He says, I don't mind giving, but I want to make sure that I'm giving to something that is going to help. I don't want to restore, something that no one's going to look at. I want to do something. And I'll take anyone's money. That's not a problem. But I took his money. We took his help, not just money, everything from him, because he meant it. And I love the idea about the books in school. So thank you. I was texting him all last night. I love texting. Doesn't matter. I don't care where you are. I'm texting him. 11 o'clock, I was texting Adam. That's not right. I was texting Adam. And I'm saying, what do you need for tomorrow? Michael Minogue and Renee are so supportive. They're going to, send their in-laws, which, they are the backbone, because 5 kids, yeah. I'm a nonna too. I'm a grandmother, so we know how that goes. So, Office of the Mayor, special citation to Michael Minogue. As Mayor of the City of Gloucester, one of the pleasures of this office is the opportunity to recognize in an official way special happenings in the lives of extraordinary people. Thus, I'm delighted to take a moment to salute Michael Minogue for his tireless efforts in supporting your fellow veterans. Thank you for your service in the United States Army as veteran of the Desert Storm, your continued dedication and generous donation on behalf of the Michael Renee Minogue Foundation to the Veterans Office of Cape Ann has tremendously helped support your fellow veterans. The $20,000 donation was used to restore the Veterans Service on Emerson Ave, conducted by VA Veterans Construction Team, programming and teaching veterans trade skills while working in the VA in physical and mental health recovery. Mr. Minogue's support also helped provide each elementary class in Cape Ann with an age-appropriate children's book titled Veterans Heroes in Our Neighborhoods. And that was extraordinary, because a lot of children don't know what veterans are. And to go there and explain to them and have veterans actually read to some of these students was the most amazing thing. The questions that they came and asked, and it was amazing. You should see them. I love children. Currently, Mr. Minogue is the chair of the Governor Baker's Veterans Advisory Council and has led the MVP Veterans Program, which provides veterans access to educational resources and mentors in the biomedical field. On behalf of the residents, and especially the residents of the City of Gloucester and Cape Ann, I would like to extend my warmest and sincere gratitude for your service to the United States and the Gloucester community. Given under my seal and signature, June 13, 2018, Safathia Romeo, taken mayor. That's wonderful.
Okay.
So to Stephen and Madonna, I definitely know Mike Minogue personally as a chairman of the Veterans Advisory Council, providing a sense of focus. For those who don't know, Abiomed is in Danvers, but while its hub there is an international company that is doing some great life-saving aspects of saving lives and just putting a focus in that cutting edge of life sciences. And to give an opportunity to a veteran, and I think that's where the MVP Vets program comes in place. Veterans don't know what they don't know. People don't know what they don't know. And so it's not who you know, but who you know that knows. And I think that is what we're fostering, that sense of opportunity. And that is the type of leadership that Mike brings to the table each and every day in MVP Vets and in the opportunities given to communities such as what you've seen here in Cape Ann. And so from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, presented to Michael Minogue on behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth, I'm pleased to confirm this governor's citation in recognition of your dedicated service to veterans of Gloucester and across the Commonwealth. This 13th day of June, signed Charles D. Baker, Governor, Karen Ippolito, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you.
And from our state senate, Official citation: be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Michael Minogue in recognition of your dedicated service of veterans of Gloucester and Cape Ann. Signed June 13th, 2018 by Senator Bruce Tarr. Thank you. Great. Thank you. One more round of applause for all the awardees, please. Thank you. Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Mayor. So the next part of our program, we talk about resources for businesses. Now, I know it can be tricky at times. You're running your business every day, but what we ask, what we would like right now is to have some of our service providers come up, talk about what they do just for a minute. So you put a name with a face and they can tell you what they do. And first, wanted to start with Ken Reel, as CEO of the Chamber.
Thanks, Sal. So I'll start by saying that I'm honored and pleased to be part of this wonderful event here this morning. I'd like to thank the organizers, and that, of course, is Adam, who does such an incredible job in representing and leading the veterans here on Cape Ann. Sal, representing the city, and Sal's boss, Jill Cahill, is here. We have Al Yee from North Shore Career Center, who specifically works with our veterans and encourages our local businesses to employ veterans. And Maria DeStefano, also Massachusetts Office Small Business, North Shore is here, and I'm sure we'll hear from you shortly. Thank you all for pulling together this great event. So Cape Ann Chamber represents the 4 Cape Ann communities, Gloucester being the largest, Rockport, Essex, and Manchester by the Sea. We have many businesses off of Cape Ann as well. We're one of the largest business organizations north of Boston with about 900 members. So many of the folks here in this room are members of the Cape Ann Chamber, and even more than that, have been leaders and are today continue to be leaders of the Chamber. So our strongest partnership is with Applied Materials. Kathy Lowe was past president of the board of the Cape Ann Chamber. Mike Linquata, past president of the board of the Cape Ann Chamber of Commerce. Al Britsky, very involved with us in what we're doing today, recent veteran. Small business, Mark Nestor, many of you know, is very active locally with our Veterans Affairs. More recently, Nick Pizzeni and his wife Caitlin just purchased Cape Ann Lanes, very involved with the community, are doing a wonderful job in kind of renovating and reinventing Cape Ann Lanes, extremely involved and on the board of the Cape Ann Chamber of Commerce. So we are very interactive with the veterans groups. It's interesting that as I think, as Adam had said, we actually do not have very good record of our veteran-owned and businesses that employ veterans. So we're looking forward to using this opportunity to better understand businesses that do employ veterans, to basically rise them up and encourage the community to understand the importance of veterans here on and around Cape Ann, and to encourage businesses to employ veterans. So our benefits are basically threefold. It's promotion of our business members and promotion of the region as a visitor destination. It's economic development and working with many of the leaders in this room, and of course our state representatives to encourage economic growth in the region, and its education. We work very closely with our local schools as well as with our business members for training and education opportunities for the businesses and for our young people. We'll be here to talk afterwards. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Ken. Next, I'd like to have Mark Whitmore from the North Shore Career Center say a few words.
Thanks.
Thank you. You're going to cover the incentive piece for
I will. Yep. Good morning. First, congratulations to all of the recipients today, and thank you to our assembled veterans for your service. I'm pleased to be here along with my colleague Al Yee from the North Shore Career Center. For those of you that don't know what the Career Centers are all about, we're actually a meeting place for job seekers and for businesses. And we try to do that match. Find good jobs for people that, for job seekers that are looking for them, and find good employees for companies. We represent the 19 cities and towns from here, up here in Cape Ann down to Saugus. We have 3 locations, one right here in Gloucester that we do as a collaborative with Action Inc. We have a full-service center down in Salem, and then we have an additional center that's a collaborative effort with North Shore Community College at their Lynn campus. A couple of the things that we're proud of is we're privileged to be able to provide priority of service to all of our veterans that come in and their families, as far as all of the job search services that we provide. So what that does is that provides us with a pool of talent, and a pool of talent that you as employers can draw on. So that's one of the services that we can provide to you as businesses. We also can help you, and Al and I can talk about these things later on. We're sticking around after things break up here. And we can talk about things like tax incentives for hiring veterans. We can talk about apprenticeship programs that range from a whole host of different occupations. We can talk about pre-screening candidates for you, doing job postings for you, doing recruitment events that are targeted to the particular positions that you're trying to fill. So there's a whole host of things. If you're looking for training for incumbent workers, we can talk to you about the Workforce Training Fund. So there are a lot of different services. We have a dedicated business services team within the Career Center. We're happy to have them come out and talk with you. Al's always available to come out and talk to businesses. So we're thrilled to be part of the Cape Ann community, and we're looking forward to dog tagging companies along with Adam and the mayor. So thank you for having me.
That's great. Al, can you wave just so you say? So if your company is looking for information on incentives for hiring veterans, please see Al. Al, what's the how much, what's the incentive up to?
It goes up to a max of $9,600.
So $9,600 per veteran. That's huge. So please, some of you are already hiring veterans and you don't know that there's benefits out there. Please see Al, please see Mark. And we have materials on the table from several of our providers. I wanted to recognize Rich Wiseman from Endicott College was here. He had another meeting to go to, but Endicott is a great partner of ours and will continue to be. If I could call up Chris Mills right now.
So my job, I work for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I work for the Department of Career Services, and I am the local Veterans Employment Representative. I work with Al and all the career centers. So my job is primarily to focus on the employers themselves and working with the employers to help you hire our U.S. military veterans and try to create a easy pipeline of services and for when they apply for jobs. So that way we can hopefully slide them right in there for you to help you out.
Great. Excellent. Thank you.
Chris, you'll be here to answer questions and talk to some of the business.
Great. Next, if I could have Noreen Hazelton, Executive Director, North Shore Alliance for Economic Development.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. First of all, everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for coming to this event. Really heartfelt. And Mayor, this is one of my first experiences with you. And I just can't tell you how refreshing it is to sit here and listen to a mayor who gets it from her heart. And so thank you for that. So I'm wearing 2 hats today. The North Shore Alliance for Economic Development, and you can think of that as the bridge between business and government. We focus on a policymaker series where we invite policymakers at usually a government level to come in and speak to the business community. And part of that discussion involves veterans. So again, I'm taking back a lot of information from here today that we can apply. We meet with the community planners. Sal has been instrumental and very key to that group. sharing best practices. Again, we can share the veterans' practices as well. And also just promoting the region economically. We have a site development map where we've included your top sites from Gloucester. So people can just come to our website and look and see what's available to help the economy up here. We focus on our areas, our transportation, housing, and the people pipeline. So I think it's natural where you can see where veterans are impacted in all of those areas. I also represent the Enterprise Center at Salem State University. I have this brochure here. The vast majority of our educational opportunities are free. So if you're a veteran or not, if you're hiring veterans, if you're meeting with them but they need just a little bit more education, please have them come to the Enterprise Center, give them my name, Noreen Hazelton, be happy to sit down with them. I will be here afterwards, would love to talk to any of the businesses or people in the communities who then talk to veterans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you,
Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce my wife. I couldn't do it without cracking a smile. I'm like, but but one of the things that we do, so she could talk about how we work together, but on the local level, I handle the tax incentives at what's called a TIF, tax increment financing. So if your companies think about expanding and hiring people, or you know of a company that's looking, start with me. I'll help you, the mayor will help you, Adam will help you, and then we work with Maria's group, Mass Office of Business Development, and she'll tell you more. All right.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. So it's funny. So don't kill me. Just a quick story. So we're in the car one day, and we're like, you know who we haven't seen in a long time? Our really old good friend and neighbor, Francisco. How do we get him up here? How do we get him up to Gloucester? Let's lure him with some food, with some like fresh fish, whatever. Then we're like, all right, well, you know what? If he's gonna come up to Gloucester, you know what I hear all the time when I meet with companies is, I need workers. So let me back up. So I administer the state's tax incentive, the investments tax credits for the Northeast region. So I work for Secretary Ash. I'm the Northeast Regional Director for the Mass Office of Business Development. So anytime I go meet with the CEO of a company and I say, hey, let's talk about incentives, they're telling me, hey, I want to grow, I need to hire more people. Then the next thing out of their mouths is, this is great. We're going to invest about $8 million. I need to hire 42 more people. I'm just making numbers up. I need you to get me 42 people. I'm really having a hard time hiring. And so then we said, and a lot of times I'll say, have you considered hiring a veteran? And especially a lot of times in manufacturing, especially, like you've got like this person that has this phenomenal mindset and this work ethic, and I'm like, who better than to come in here? So there's all kinds of apprenticeship programs and regular programs and the tax incentives. And so then we started talking about, well, if he's coming up here, and we should talk about. And I said, that's the thing that companies need most is hiring, is to hire. And we do work with North Shore Career Center. Oh, and by the way, I want to mention, I'm so excited that my other colleagues at the Career Place, Mary Beth Beatrice, if you want to give a wave, and Julie Whitmore, they are from the Woburn office, also a career center. Commonwealth is asking us to do more with less, so my region seems to be growing every day. So we went from 46 communities to more than 100 communities, but under my breath. Anyway, so that's kind of how the conversation went, and then we said, well, Adam is all over the place, and he's got his hands in everything. We're gonna pull Adam into this conversation, and then, of course, the North Shore Career Center ended up being like a phenomenal partner, and then we said, okay, well, how are we gonna get the businesses here? Well, we gotta have the chamber here. So it just sort of morphed into this huge thing, and then Chris started sending me all of this phenomenal information and videos and things like that, and it just morphed into this great event. So I guess that's my kind of long way of saying to you, businesses that are out there, no matter what it is that you need, look at all of us, including the mayor. Like, she's famous for, she'll be somewhere talking about something totally different, and all of a sudden someone says, well, I need this. And then ding, 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 Sunday afternoon, my husband's cell phone starts to explode. Anyway, so any one of us that spoke, any one of us that are providers that are in the audience, we're all connected. It's not like you, if you talk to one of us, we're going to get you directly to the other one, and we're going to get you all the state resources. And so then quickly, I'm going to stick around too to answer any questions about tax incentives for investments tax credits, and we can also, the state can come in and incentivize your jobs created. But also, my background, I had the pleasure of working for Mayor Menino for 16 years. So my background is in small and micro business and women-owned business. So I'm happy to talk to you about that as well. So that's it. That's what I have to say. And I want to thank all of you for coming here. Thank the people that received their awards today. And I want to thank my partners as well. Thank you so much.
That's why she's the more famous of both of us for things like that. But so what I want to do now is just invite everybody to network. There's more food here. If you don't eat it, Adam has to take it home. I want to thank everyone. Thank everyone for the help. Please stick around. Jill, anything else that you could think? Yeah, thank you. And we're around, so please think of the city. Please think of the state. Francisco's here. This is great. Thank you to our honorees. Thank you, Mr. Linquata, for everything you do. Yeah, please stick around. Oh, I'm sorry? Does anyone have any questions for any of the providers that they would like to ask right now? Or if you're going to be shy, you could ask one-on-one.
Talk about this?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, I missed it.
Yeah.
When did you talk about it?
Right after you told me to talk about it.
After
Well-
but I mean, are they trained, they're gonna get these in the windows like the Gloucester?
Yeah, why don't you
Okay,
talk
yeah.
about it in the mic?
Tell them how that
Yeah.
you really want this in your window.
Yep.
I want you to emphasize that you really want this in your window.
So we're still working out a lot of the details on it. But as the mayor says, we want this to promote veteran-owned businesses and businesses that support veterans. We'll have more details on that as we grow it. But lastly, though, this event really, we want to help our local businesses. We want to help the chamber. We want to grow this. And I think we have the workforce for you. Veterans are out there. They have a unique set of talents. Do not believe Hollywood. Our veterans aren't broken. They're not the movies that you see in the way they're portrayed. They are CEOs of companies. They're owners of famous restaurants. They're the big wigs over at Applied Materials. They're secretaries, they're congressmen, they're senators. That's the true definition. Yeah, that's the true state of veterans. Is they are our community leaders, and they're leading by example. And we're here to help you fill the roles you need and build our community together. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming, but I want to make sure, where's the chamber? I want to make sure that this is in all our businesses. We did a program here for those who aren't from Gloucester called Gloucester Fresh, fresh quality, great seafood. If you're going to a farmer's market, go to a fish market. If you're going to shop where they serve veterans and help veterans. What better way? They served our country, we need to serve them. So I expect every single business in Gloucester to have one of these in their windows. Just think of the free publicity you get, because we'll put it on our website, we'll link you, and we'll make sure that it goes around. So we'll make sure when they ask, when they come, because we have a lot of veterans who love to come to Gloucester, to make sure to look that. So, and I'll be walking around, and I don't walk around. I know that.
Enjoy. Grab some more breakfast. Information's on the table. Please help yourself. Thank you, Ariana. Thank you.